All right, what's going on, guys? Long time no see. Haven't posted a whole lot of tutorials lately. I've just been super busy with client stuff and online course creation and a couple other businesses I've been kind of starting in the past like 3 or 4 months. So it's been super busy, but I'm getting back to the YouTube grind. I freaking promise. I want to hop on here and talk about filmmaking mentorship and why I feel like it is very important to have mentorship as a beginner filmmaker. I'm going to talk about my mentorship experiences and how they shaped me into the filmmaker that I am today. I also want to mention too that I am opening up slots for a 3-month online mentorship program, and I'm going to explain everything that it has to offer, but I'm also going to place a testimonial video of the last person that was in my mentorship program. His name is Mattias. He lives halfway across the world from me, and I want to share his success story, create an awesome testimonial that I want to share with you guys, so you can kind of see the proof of concept of what I can do in just 3 months of mentoring you. So in terms of my mentorship experience, I started with just shooting car videos on my own. I did it out of passion. I loved shooting videos. I didn't even charge for them, partly because I wasn't confident enough to ask for money, which a lot of beginners get to that stage where they love shooting videos, but they don't know how much to charge. They don't know what their time is worth. So they just end up doing a lot of free work, which is fine at the beginning just to get those reps in. But eventually, you know, you're probably going to want to seek some sort of mentorship in terms of how much to charge, how to charge, or even how to approach a client and ask for money. So after 2 years of actually shooting car videos, because I used to be pretty heavily involved in the car scene, I had a lot of car friends, was always surrounded by car enthusiasts. It was really easy for me to tap into that scene because I could just simply ask any of my car friends if they want to shoot a video. So it was really easy to tap into that. After I did that for about 2 years, had a ton of fun doing it, I was approached by a marketing company to actually shoot videos for them. Now this was more corporate video, it wasn't so much creative. There's a little bit of creative sprinkled in, but we're talking wedding videos, corporate interview videos, business walkthroughs, about us videos, event recaps, so on and so forth. So being that this was like kind of my first more legit job and something that I could definitely see being a career path in the future that I could follow up with, I thought, you know what, to hell with it. I'm just going to go with the flow and see how it goes maybe for the first year and then reevaluate. I actually ended up staying there for about 3 years until I ended up leaving to freelance. Now, what I learned at this company was just because I had a 9-to-5 job that I had to commit to, didn't mean that I wasn't constantly learning, right? Because it's not like I was stuck in a cubicle and doing something that had nothing to do with videography. I was literally entrenched in filmmaking and shooting videos for clients at this marketing agency 24/7 pretty much. Like it was 5 or 6 days a week and a lot of overtime hours. Now, because I had a good work ethic and I've always felt that I've had a really good work ethic on top of my 9-to-5 job, you know, and after hours, I was shooting music videos, I got into fitness videos, my own event recap videos, shooting for little events, and I was also making side income. Plus, I was shooting YouTube tutorials years and years ago, right? So I was doing all these other things on the side. Now, did I have much of a life? Absolutely not. Did I sacrifice my teenage years and early 20s? 1000%. I sacrificed family time. You know, relationships just never worked because I was always working and I was so addicted to working. I became very addicted to the hustle culture, which is a good and bad thing. I think it's more of a good thing, especially during your beginner stages, because it teaches you good work ethic and you just get as many reps in as possible while you're younger. So I was at this marketing agency for about 3 years or so, and I would say that these were the best 3 years of my career because I just learned so much. During like the last 6 to 12 months of being at this marketing agency, when I knew that I could just leave and go freelance and make a pretty decent living or make the same amount of money as my 9-to-5, I decided that I was going to stick around and keep grinding for that 6 to 12 months by also shooting stuff on the side, make some really good money, but also just be way more aware of how my bosses were at my job. So I would eavesdrop on their phone calls with clients. I would, you know, pay attention to how they would script their emails and how they would talk in their emails. I'd pay attention to all of the free pro bono work that they would do for different, you know, nonprofits and stuff like that, and how they would get their name out there and acquire these clients long term. How they would even treat their employees in case I had employees at a video production company in the future, right? What employees liked and didn't like about working at this company. So I was always kind of thinking about these things during the last tail end of working at this company. So I wasn't really sitting there thinking, oh, I'm just wasting my time, even though I could go freelance. I was trying to learn more of the business side of, running a video production company or a marketing agency. And I did learn a lot when I was just much more aware of my surroundings and what was actually going on within, behind closed doors in the business. So during the last 6 months of working at this company, I actually enrolled into Jacob Owens of the Buff Nerds Media's 6-month online mentorship. Now, this was a mentorship group. There was about 20 filmmakers or creatives in this group. And the best part about it was that you got open line of communication in the Facebook group with Jake. And this really opened my eyes to how going off on your own, even though it feels scary at first, you can make a pretty good living shooting videos. But not only that, he always stressed, passive income streams, because there are going to be times where, freelance video just is really slow on maybe a month-to-month basis, or for a month or two straight, it could just be slow. And there's just a lot of dips in freelancing. So he really hit home that, you should be investing your money into different businesses, your own businesses, or creating passive income streams. And that was the biggest takeaway from that mentorship. And I mean, that's why I create online courses. That's why I have an online shop. I do affiliate marketing. I do all these things because I learned that I should be doing these things if I want to be smart with my future as a creative. And I did learn all of that through Jacob Owens of the Buff Nerds Media. So that was my second really good experience with mentorship. Now, my third one was when I actually left my full-time job to freelance. I only lasted about 10 months, which it wasn't a very good 10 months. I was kind of only focusing on music videos and creative work, which didn't pay the best because I just didn't have enough business experience, just on my own. And I actually ended up getting approached by a local videographer to me, and we started a video production company called Subtle Cinematics. If you're an OG, you probably remember me posting about this company. And I was there for about 2.5 years until I actually requested a buyout option and wanted to leave the company. And we just decided that we're going to dissolve the company, go our separate ways in the filmmaking industry. And throughout that 2.5 years, I learned so much about handling clients, proposal writing, how to shoot higher end business corporate commercials. These are all things that I now, implement into my own freelance business, RoyalZ Production. Once I left, I just went solo freelance full time. And I felt like the second time around that I went solo freelance, which is now, I've just had so much more clarity over just everything business-wise. I'm just so much more aware of the red flags, whether I'm on set or whether it's business. I can see the red flags from a mile away, but that took, call it 8 years of experience in the field, whether it's working for other people, having a business partner with employees, or just being on my own. All of these different stages of my career led me to being the creative that I am today, and now being a successful freelancer. So I'm gonna roll the testimonial of Mattias and his experience in my 3-month mentorship program. Again, if you guys wanna check out and learn more about what it has to offer, check out the first link that you see in the description down below. But honestly, guys, seeing this testimonial when Mattias sent it to me and listening to it, I just got chills and oddly enough, a little emotional, because, he explained how this mentorship had, it played a role in where he is now as a creative, which I just think is the craziest thing to me, because, we did this from, different parts of the world, which is wild. And it was just through the consult calls and having the open line of communication, straying him in the right direction, or what I felt was the right direction for him at the time whenever he had questions. Part of it was maybe the mentorship on my behalf, but the other part was that Mattias actually listened to me and he executed. And that's a really big thing. I create YouTube content and tutorials, but even some of my tutorials that have 200,000 to 1 million views, I would say that maybe 1% of the people watching those tutorials will actually take what I teach and apply it to their own video sets or their own businesses. So obviously part of it was me coaching and mentoring Mattias, but the other part was him actually executing and taking the reins on, taking what he's learning in the mentorship and actually applying it. So I'm gonna roll the video right now. This is Mattias's testimonial on my 3-month online mentorship program for filmmakers.
Hi, my name is Mattias and I'm a videographer from Estonia. In this video I will explain how in less than a year I went from a hobbyist creator working a retail job that I hated to being hired by a video production company and being able to do what I love full time. But before that, some background. Up until the summer of last year I was using my camera to almost exclusively take photos. However, last August I decided to put together my first video. It was a workout hype edit for a friend of mine. I was looking all around YouTube for different tutorials on how to film fitness videos and I came across this video by VisualsByRoyalZ production. I found it super helpful and I appreciated the down-to-earth and laid-back teaching style that Anastas had. I've been watching his videos ever since. Back in November I saw that Anastas had opened up a few spots in his new mentorship program, which offered weekly 1-hour video calls, a lifetime 100% discount to his entire online store, including the very thorough music video course, and one of the most valuable things in my opinion, an open line of communication. It seemed like a pretty good deal to me. So at the start of the mentorship program, I wanted to gain knowledge on how to quit the retail job that I was working at that I really hated. I wanted to know how to become a professional. I feel like working with Anastas week after week really helped me cram the progress of 1 to 2 years into 3 to 4 months. Getting detailed feedback about the videos I've done quickly pointed out the bottlenecks that I had and allowed me to move forward way quicker. For example, the feedback from Anastas showed me that my intros were too dragged out. He explained to me how I should focus more on the action of the video, which will increase viewer retention. Now, let's say that you hear a similar tip in a YouTube video. Maybe some piece of advice will sound good in the moment, but it won't easily stick. However, if someone you respect specifically points out the issues in your work, then there's no hiding from the truth. And since it was a project that you created, the piece of advice will be so much better internalized. I'm not saying that you can't learn from watching YouTube videos. I'm just saying that you'll learn like 10 times more effectively when you hear it about your own work in actual conversation with a pro versus watching it in a YouTube video. I vividly remember that when I started this mentorship, I had just asked for payment from a client for the first time. However, the rate that I asked was below minimum wage after tax, since I wasn't confident at all in my abilities. I remember being on the phone and getting ready to ask this client for this ridiculously low price, and I actually had this strong thought in my head that he's expecting me to do this for free. I had self-limiting beliefs about what I'm worth. Then I mentioned this to Anastas, and in our first call he told me that I should easily be charging 4 times that amount.
So you're charging right now around €5 an hour. That's so wild to me, bro. To me personally, like looking at your work, the bare minimum €30 an hour. Okay. Bare minimum.
Working with Anastas week after week quickly broke these limiting beliefs, and I was able to comfortably charge a higher rate. Like I mentioned before, you can hear info about what to charge in some YouTube videos, although most YouTubers don't talk about this really. But hearing it in regards to your personal situation is really like 10 times more effective, since that advice is 100% applicable to your situation. Anastas shared invoice templates, pitch emails that he had made to clients, job treatments, and so on. Being able to see how the business of video production worked was so useful.
They pay really well, right? You know, $2,000-3,000, and they're actually getting a return on investment. Like I can help you tap into that niche too.
Anastas also reviewed pitch emails that I had written and quickly gave me advice when I asked for it. This video would become too long if I were to talk about all the ways that Anastas helped me, but I'll just quickly mention that he also gave me advice on pre-production, lighting techniques, advice on how to best use the money I made to acquire new gear, being an entrepreneur or freelancer, or working for a production company, and so on. He was always there to get back to me over text when I had the question. Speaking of texts, he was always so thorough and willing to give a lot of advice. I thought that I was writing long messages to him, and then I got a response which was often like 3 times longer, packed with valuable information which was written to help me solve the specific problem I was facing. I'd also like to take a moment to explain how the journey of learning a new skill and seeing success in something works. Most people just assume that success is linear. The effort you put in directly correlates to the results that you see. But in reality, success is exponential. In the beginning, you will see very little results from the hard work that you put in, and this period can be really frustrating. However, then you hit the point where all the hard work starts paying off and you start seeing exponential results. I think mentorship is so incredibly useful for shortening this demotivating long stretch of time where you're not seeing significant results for the work that you put in. Like I said before, I feel like this mentorship program helped me jump the learning curve. More specifically, I feel like it helped me me get through this painful period in a few months. I've only been a videographer for exactly 1 year and a week, but I'm now working at it full time. I film videos for a theme park, massage parlor, a gym, a basketball team, different events. These have been all freelance gigs, but I recently joined up with a production company about a month ago. We do social media work and bigger productions as well. While working at this company, I've had a chance to film a talk show with one of the biggest artists here in Estonia and film for the second biggest bank. I'm not saying that in less than a year I've become a pro. I still have a long way to go, but I am saying that I would be nowhere near where I am right now if it weren't for this mentorship program. That's why I highly recommend mentorship with VisualsByRoyalZ production to all videographers who feel like going from a hobbyist to a pro seems like an insurmountable task.
Alright guys, so that wraps up my video on why I feel that mentorship is super important for up and coming, aspiring beginner videographers. I had multiple mentors throughout the years. I think that mentorship is super important. I think that if I had access for the price of this type of a mentorship where it's so one-to-one, I would hop on this in a heartbeat because it could have saved me a lot of money and a lot of time. And I will mention, as the months go by and the more people that enroll into this mentorship, I will be slowly raising the price on this. So if you want to get in on it while it's cheap, in my opinion, very cheap, you're probably going to want to get in on this sooner rather than later. Thanks everybody for watching. Catch you guys on the next video. Peace.